Stay there. Just prepare for it. Just be aware of your timing for your negative if he decides to. There you go. Well done. Perfect. Yeah.
All right, everybody. So we got this dog here who's obviously dealing with some reactivity towards other dogs. As you can see, this dog that is laying down is pretty relaxed. So I wanted to use this as an example because I know a lot of people don't necessarily have dogs that are actually reactive. Their dog's actually kind of aggressive and they're saying it's reactivity. So I thought this would be a great example. I also think this is a great example because there is a lot of tools being used. So I'm going to teach you guys a few things about what I would do differently in terms of tools that I would use, and also what these people are doing right, because I know I tend to, oftentimes I will look at a trainer who sucks and tell you what not to do, but this is not that bad. These people are actually pretty cool from what I could see so far. I didn't watch the whole clip because this is a reaction video, and I do want it to be authentic, so I only usually watch like the first few moments. So for what I could see so far, they're actually pretty cool. So let's see what else they got in store for us. I want to see how this ends.
Again, because now you're close, so now it's well done. Good. Well done. Good. Better. Well done. Keep going. There, negative. You have to presume that look means that he's about to do that. When you look back on these videos, you'll see the moments where you probably could have corrected before it got to reactivity. Because this is about reading the dog in the build-up and then how you respond to that. Try and get these timings right of both positive and negative markers. Nice and slow down. Good. Better.
Okay, that's great. All right, so as you can see, this mission accomplished here. This is what we strive for. However, there's a few things that I would do a little bit differently, and it's a little confusing how this person's doing it, so I'll try to do my best to understand it. If there's any other dog trainers out there who have similar techniques that want to chime in on this conversation, please do. Write to me below, leave a comment, however you want to chime in on this conversation, or rip me up. I know TikTok can be kind of mean. That's fine. You all can say whatever you want to. I'm down for it. Anyway, all right, so first things first. I would not be working with a dog that is this stressed out. That's the first thing. If the dog is panting this hard, then I would tell the owner and the dog, hey, go take a break. Go outside, let him sniff the grass, let him lay in it for a bit, give him some water. And then when he's a little less stressed, when he's not panting nearly as much, then you could come back inside. So if the dog is so stressed all the time, just being around a dog laying down, then I would not be even doing this session right now. Okay, so I would start it with something that is even less than this. In other words, maybe do a little bit of like threshold reactivity training, where the dog is like really, really far away, like way off in the park somewhere. Or, you know, one thing I used to do with clients in the past, actually, I used to do this like after I've been working with them for a while. So this is not a very good example, but just to give you some idea of how I dealt with leash reactivity in the past is I would actually go to a dog park and stand outside the dog park. Based on how reactive they are, that is how far I get to the dog park or how close I get to the dog park, right? So if they're pretty reactive, I might stand all the way back first, just see how they do. But I have to be very cautious on how long I stay there for because I don't want to overwhelm the dog, right? So if I can only do 5 minutes, then I only do 5 minutes. I'm not standing there until they're exhausted and panting. And that's, if you have done it to the point where they exhausted, the training didn't really work. If anything, it made their anxiety worse. They're going to remember that next time you go to the dog park. They're going to remember. Okay? So this dog right here now has I don't think this dog actually has a good association with this facility because he's so stressed out. Even though he's laying down next to this dog right now, he seems to be pretty calm and relaxed. This dog is actually still very stressed out because he's panting so hard. And so even though we got him to lay down next to the dog, I'd want him to be relaxed around the dog. I want him to be chilling. I want him to be just hanging out and, you know, listening to some music, relaxed, maybe even doing a settle. Okay? I don't want him stressed out. So that's the main thing. Okay? Now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about tools, what I'm seeing in terms of how tools are being used here. So it looked like he was using 2 different leashes, and I am okay with that. I don't mind using 2 different leashes. I've done that before with particularly bad cases, where I might have maybe a harness or a gentle lead, also using a slip lead in case something happened, right? So the slip lead is mostly there for safety. If one of these tools broke, the dog, you know, like, dogs are strong, man. I've dealt with some really strong dogs. Like if I'm working with like a really strong dog and, you know, the gentle lead wasn't on right, maybe the hook underneath the chin broke or something like that. Maybe they slip out of their collar, something like that. Okay. I also have the slip lead there. Okay. So that's the purpose of using 2 different leashes. He doesn't explain why he's using 2 different leashes here, so he might have a different reason than I do. But I will say that it seemed, based on what I was seeing, I'm actually going to maybe go back to this a little bit and see what he was doing in terms of, was that a leash pop, or was that literally just the dog pulling so hard that the dog almost sort of did a leash pop on himself. Like, I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to let this go back around and we'll see if he did a leash pop or not, and which leash he used the leash pop for.
Stay there. Just be patient. Just be aware of your timing for your negative. If he decides to, there you go. Well done. Perfect. Yeah, and again.
Okay.
Now you're closer. Now, well done.
Yes. All right. No, so he is, okay. So I had to watch that again. So as you can see, he is using 2 different leashes. One is to do a leash pop. The other is to manage. That's what it looks like to me. All right. So having that been said, the leash pops are actually causing the stress. And for those of you that have been following me, I don't have a big following. So for those of you that have been following me, thank you. First of all, thank you. Second of all, if you've been following me before, you know why leash pops create stress, okay? Leash pops are not an effective way of training a dog. A dog does not understand pressure like some trainers would tell you. They have no reason to understand pressure. What they're going to tell you is that their mama bear, okay, their mom dog picked them up by their neck, and that's why they understand pressure around the neck. But what they don't understand is that the mom picked them up in the back of the neck, not the front of the neck. When you do a leash pop, it puts pressure on the front of the neck. So you're actually just strangling the dog. This is not a progressive way of teaching a dog anything. You're just choking your dog. That's it. They have no understanding of, if I do this, I get a leash pop. That's not what's happening, okay? Now, the reason why I wanted to go back and watch this again is because sometimes the dog will lunge and essentially kind of do a leash pop on themselves. And we want to try to avoid that by using tools that keep them safe from harm. So I don't want them to actually put any pressure on their neck. So I'll use the 2 tools that I tend to use the most are easy walk harnesses and gentle leaders. I'm going to say that again, so in case you're writing this down. Easy walk harnesses and gentle leaders. Or if you're to have a big dog, you could also use a halty top. Okay. So, or a halty leader, whichever you prefer to use. Okay. So that being said, this dog, again, still not relaxed. Okay, look at this body language right now. This does not look like a relaxed dog to me, right? So every time he yanks on this chain, he's just creating more stress on this dog. Okay, I'm gonna let it play again, see what else I can pick up on. We'll see what we can see.
Good. Well done. Good. Better. Well done. Keep going.
Okay.
There, negative.
So he is Getting the dog's attention by giving him treats. This is the part that I like. Okay, so again, if I were to do this differently, he'd be on different leash equipment, which would make it easier for the owner in general, right? None of this doing leash pops and sweating and trying to pull him back, right? Also, he'd be a lot more relaxed in general, again, because I wouldn't be doing this when this dog is this stressed out. So, is giving him treats every time he checks in with him. And this is great. I love this. Because what it teaches the dog is every time I look at you, I get a reward. Not only that, but it actually, that in itself is relaxing the dog. Dogs will look to you for comfort. Dogs will look to you for guidance. And oftentimes what I see when I'm working with an owner who has, when the dog has reactivity issues, more specifically reactivity issues, is they miss the mark. So their dog is just kind of all over the place, barking, lunging, trying to get at this other dog. And the dog will check in with the owner. And I kid you not, I see this all the time. They check in with the owner and the owner's just like, I need you here with your dog. I need you to look at your dog. Your dog just looked at you for guidance and you completely missed your mark, right? So when your dog checks in with you, make sure that you give him treats. If your dog does not take treats because they're stressed out, oftentimes if I see a dog that is this stressed out, they don't take treats. So if they don't take treats, then please remark with with praise. Okay, yay, good job, buddy. Good job. Yeah, keep your eyes on me. Good job. Yes, good boy. All right, let's go, right? Try to talk to them as much as you can. Try to keep their focus off this dog and back onto you. That's the goal. All right, let's see what else we got.
You have to presume that look means that he's about to do that. When you look back on these videos, you'll see the moments where you probably could have corrected before it got to reactivity. Because this is about reading the dog in the build-up and then how you respond to that. Try and get these timings right of both positive...
That's very well said. It's about reading the dog's body language, okay? Like, what is my dog doing before he goes at this object? How can I curb this behavior before he even goes at the other dog or the squirrel or whatever it is, right? If you see those hackles go up, if you see them get hyper-focused and fixated, now's the time to start talking to your dog. Now's the time to walk away from that thing that's going to drive him nuts. Now's the time to try to get their focus onto you and praise them, okay?
And negative markers. Nice and slow down, good. Better.
Good. Boy.
And then we walk away. That's great. All right. So, couple things I want to say. Sorry. Couple things I want to say about working with dogs that have reactivity. If you're new to this world, as a dog owner, as a dog trainer, whatever it may be, there's one thing I really want you to keep in mind that I think both of these two gentlemen did really well in this session. And that's to keep your cool. Okay? Keep your cool. Stay cool, calm, collect. That's what I need from you as a dog owner. And I stress this because I've dealt a lot with clients who are a bit... Okay? If you are all over the place, if you have high anxiety, if you are stressed out, if you are angry at whoever... Right? If you just broke up with your boyfriend and you're angry about it, if you just like had a bad day at work, your boss sucks and you're angry about it and you bring that on a walk, your dog is going to react to your energy, not the other dog. And so oftentimes dog owners don't understand that their dog is actually just reacting to their own anxiety, their own anger. Dogs feel that on humans. Okay, you communicate that through just tensing up through the leash. Okay, if you have the leash like this in your hand and you're all tense and you come home from a bad day at work and you're just all, right? They know you're tense. So whatever it is you're dealing with, you got to check it out the door. Because you're going to walk that dog, and your dog's going to go on every single little dog, big dog, human, squirrel, bird, whatever it is, they're going to go at it because you're the one that's stressed out. So if you're not ready for that, then you need to think about how else you can walk or exercise this dog. Maybe play fetch in the backyard until you're calm. But stop taking your dogs out if you're not relaxed. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you guys get something out of this because I enjoy making it. I don't have a very big following yet. I'm just getting started. So thank you for being a part of the early crew if you are currently following me. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time.